and welcome. This is the journey to becoming a vegan. My name is Mollie Sommer, and welcome to the pathway to ecstasy. So my journey to becoming a vegan was not fast. I took it really slow. And if you are on this path, I invite you to do the same, because it really made it really easy for me. And when I say slow, I did this over about 3 years. And there were some very distinct steps as to what I took to get me here now. I love eating food. I always have. I used to work out a ridiculous amount so that I could eat junk food whenever I wanted. And then as I came into my own spiritual awakening, I began to notice that the way I was eating wasn't in alignment to what I was receiving from Source. And so I had to really take a hard look at what my values were in how I nourished my body. The first thing I did was I got really curious about why I was eating the way I was eating. Was it because of an emotional trigger? Was it because of a belief that, didn't align with me anymore? Was it because of culture or marketing, right? I used to drive to work every day and have a double-double, and I loved it. It was really, really good, but it didn't align with who I was becoming. It didn't align with my value of health. And so I had to take a really hard look at that. I had to get rid of a lot of things. I had to go into the cupboards and, look at those foods that I was eating that weren't nutritionally dense, that weren't serving my body. Things like processed food, things like the double-double or fast food that in our culture is so easy to get and is so powerfully marketed to us that we become addicted to it. We're addicted to sugar, we're addicted to coffee, we're addicted to the easy fast food life because we're always rushing. And when I started really looking at, am I making these food choices because I want to make them versus because I'm on autopilot, I found that there were a lot of things that I was choosing to do that weren't conscious decisions. So the first thing I started getting rid of was sugar. And I did a month detox from sugar. And the first 2 weeks were brutal. I'm not going to lie. I had no idea that sugar created such a powerful hold on our mind, on our bodies, and on our well-being. And I highly recommend it. Even if you're not becoming a vegan, take sugar out of your diet for a month, for 2 months, and notice the difference in how your body begins to regulate. The things we depend on that we think we need, we really don't. So that leads me to the next thing that I took out was caffeine. And caffeine was really difficult for me because I loved my morning coffee. But as I began to look at it again, why am I taking this? Why am I having this coffee? Is it because of a conscious choice, or is it because I'm dependent on this caffeine? I began to notice that it really wasn't the coffee itself that was what I loved about it. It was the ritual of the morning cup. It was the ritual of the reading and what I did with it, the slowly waking up, the honoring my body that I loved. And as soon as I was able to understand that, I was able to easily sub out coffee for something that was more nourishing. And there's so many amazing products out there now mushroom teas and matcha and, blends of herbs that give you a nice energy but isn't that caffeine spike. And not only that, they have adaptogens in them that, really fill you up instead of taking from your body. So these were two of my biggest first changes. Next, I started moving towards organic produce, organic meats, things like, fresh farm products right from farm to table. In my town, we're very blessed to have, local butchers that supply meat. And I slowly began to move away from beef and pork, and I began eating only fish and chicken. And I ate still dairy and eggs, but I was looking for more organic processing, or the lack thereof. And so slowly I began again taking out fish and chicken so that I was only eating eggs and cheese. And then this past year, my body once again told me to let go of the eggs and cheese. And as soon as I did, each one of these things, my body responded. It was really obvious that each one of these, the sugar, the caffeine, the meat, the eggs, the cheese, they were all having effects on my body, creating resistance, creating inflammation, creating, a slower metabolism. And as soon as I took them out one at a time, it was really easy to see, right? And so there's no question I'm not going back, because I don't want to reintroduce those things into my body. The benefits that I've had have been enormous. My vibration, because everything is energy, and what you put into your body becomes, right? So my vibration has it's clarified like 1,000-fold. My channeling has increased. My connection to spirit has increased, which were things that I didn't even think of, because that's not why I did it. I did it for my body. And so my connection to my body has increased. My self-love has increased. I've learned to listen to what my body wants, and instead of wanting sugar, or my go-to was nibs, right? I used to call them mummy crack because I would always get a hit of that sugar. Instead of going to those things, now I go to nourishing foods when I'm wanting something, and I know my body wants it, not because of an emotional trigger, but because it's something that she needs, and it's fine-tuned. My connection to my intuition has increased because I trust it, because I've listened to it, because I've honed it. Some things that I didn't expect were the unbelievable amount of waste we have in our culture when we are busily, blindly moving through our consumer day and eating the foods that are deemed the foods we should be eating. We have a huge impact on the planet, and when you turn into this path of veganism, you're not consuming that stuff anymore. And so like garbage waste has gone down to minimal
waste. I do a lot of composting, and there's hardly anything in my garbage anymore. And that with recycling, not as much of it is going into the landfills. So that was unexpected. It was also unexpected when I went to Costco a couple of months ago. how impacted I would be by seeing what we as a culture eat and consume every single day. Walking through the aisles of bulk was really, really difficult for me. And it hit me that, this is just one of these stores. There's thousands of them throughout North America and throughout the world, different stores. And each of them is full to the brim of these things that aren't sustainable. Things like the fish coming out of the ocean, or the shellfish, or the animals, and what we do, how we eat impacts everything. It's a ripple effect. And so coming into this lifestyle change, I didn't expect it to be so powerful in that way. My connection to the planet has always been strong, but it is so much stronger now. Vibrationally, I can feel the planet much, much more powerfully. And if we all did this, and if we all felt the planet like I feel the planet, there is no doubt in my mind that we would all be changing the way we live. We would all be, really looking at the impact we make. And the last thing that I've noticed that was really unexpected is how food becomes so much more pleasurable, because it's a creation of creativity. And so instead of just numbly feeding yourself, so much more intention, so much more passion goes into the creation of meals. And it's much, much more pleasurable. It's as you eat it, it's more flavorful. As you bring in the ingredients, there's so much more intention there. And that is what really just up levels the whole sensation of the food. And so I'm sharing this story with you, if you're feeling the call. And I say feeling the call because this all started as I awoke to my own spirituality, as I woke to my own divine feminine. These things started really whispering to me. And this is, our inner guidance, our highest self, source, knows the path of least resistance for us, knows the path of flow for us, and is always sending us messages to bring us into alignment with that. And so, if you are on your path, I have no doubt that you are hearing these whispers, that you're sensing these whispers, whether it's, within your body or within your mind, you're being given messages. And following them, even if you don't know where they're going, even if you don't know the purpose of them, following them, listening to them, that is honoring your soul, that is honoring your path, and that's really building the relationship you have with yourself. So I hope this has been helpful for you. I hope I inspire you, even if you're not ready to take the full jump, to at least start asking that question. Why am I eating the way I'm eating? What can I do to align my nutritional values with my own values and see where they're out of alignment? So my beautiful friend, thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed this. Please like and subscribe, leave a comment below, and we'll see you next time.